Y'all, we're making chowder. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find, test, and sometimes create the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling a recipe from my new cookbook. This is chicken and baby corn chowder. Stay tuned. All right, guys, you heard that right. If you're new here or if you haven't been around in a while, I released a cookbook, Ketogenic Diet on a Budget, available in fine bookstores everywhere. I'll be honest with you, I have been under the weather and quite sick for a few weeks, and I have just now today been able to have enough of a voice to be able to film a video, and you can probably hear some of the hoarseness, so I hope you'll just stick with me here. We'll make it through. But even in sunny San Diego, California, where I am now, it's kind of getting fall. Things are turning cool. Things are turning gray and drizzly, and soups and chowders just ring my bell. And right now, I think I could benefit from some chicken and baby corn chowder. I love this recipe. So before we begin, though, I need to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online marketplace on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everybody. You can search their catalog of thousands of name brand products and sort it by the things that matter most to you. Now for me and us, that's probably going to be low carb, keto, sugar-free, gluten-free. But it could be non-GMO, vegan, raw, BPA-free, whatever it is. They've got baby products, kids products, home goods, beauty products, health and supplements, food, meat, seafood. Tons of things that ship right to your door. Now, like a lot of big box discount stores, there is a membership fee to join Thrive Market, but what's nice is they've got a couple of options. If you just want to try it out for a month, they've got that. If you do what I do and get the year membership, it gets the price down to about $5 a month, and I know I'm going to at least save that. In fact, most Thrive Market shoppers save on average $32 per order. So it's really an easy calculation to make, and it's delivered right to your door, which makes it so much easier, especially in a time when you might have a little bit of sickness and don't want to go out and spread that like me right now. So right now, Thrive Market is offering you guys a very good deal. Go to thrivemarket.com/highfalutin low carb, and you will get 25% off your first order and a free gift. I say it all the time, you know, sponsorships aren't why I do this, they're how I do this. And sponsorships like Thrive, who've been with me for a long time, they're what keep channels like mine on the air. So Thrive Market, thank you so much for sponsoring me. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you want to support me, go support them. Check it out. The links are down below and in the video description below. All right, let's go make some chowder. Okay, so let's get started on this recipe. This is again from Ketogenic Diet on a Budget. Yeah, I bought I had my copies spiral bound because I use it so much. This is chicken and baby corn chowder, and I just wanted to share another recipe from this just to show you what the book is like. I'll leave a link to the book down below, and also I will leave a link to my website where you can get this recipe, and all the amounts, ingredients, and all of that will be right there. So we're gonna start. This looks like a lot of ingredients, and it is, but this goes together really quickly, really easy. Okay, so we've got a pan. It's over about medium high heat, and while it's still cold, we're going to take a half a pound of bacon, and I've already cut this into 1-inch slices, and we're just going to cook this. When you put it in a cold pan first, it lets the fat render off a little bit better. So we're going to cook in the bacon fat, but we're going to take up the crispy bacon and use it as a garnish on top of our chowder at the end of when we're plating. But for now, I'm just going to render this down and cook this bacon down, and I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch, and I'll meet you right back here in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so our bacon is nice and crispy. Looks like it's almost there. And we want to get this out of there and leave behind the bacon fat. So let me just grab a tongs real quick, and we're going to put this on a paper towel lined plate because, like I said, we're going to use this as the garnish of the chowder at the end, but we want this delicious bacon fat so that we can cook our chicken in it. And I don't know about you, I look for, my store has a store brand, believe it or not, of uncured bacon that is sugar-free. And it is not that expensive, believe it or not. So I usually try to stick with that. Now get all your bacon out, and we're going to just set this aside and reserve it. Get out of there. I want you to get you out of there. Thank you. Okay. Let me put this out of the way. Okay, that's gonna go on the stove in the back just to hang out. So we've got our bacon fat. If it's a lot of fat, you know, you want a couple of 3 tablespoons. You may wanna take some out. But for now, what we're gonna do is we've got 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I've already diced into about bite-sized pieces. Think about a soup, right? You don't want something too huge. This goes right in the bacon fat. And before I even get any further, I'm gonna put this right in the dishwasher so that I don't use this bowl again. So just make sure you're washed up. I'm weird about raw chicken, and I just don't want to cross-contaminate. So now we're gonna cook this chicken and brown it in this bacon fat. And then we're gonna take it out of the pot so that we can do our other things. Now, while this is cooking, try to scrape up some of that browned fond. You see that bottom of that pan? I don't know if I hope you can see it in the light there. It looks like it's burned. It ain't burned. That's fond. You want all that in there. Start scraping that up. Now, over medium-high heat, I'm gonna turn this up and we're gonna brown this chicken. And as soon as it's cooked, I'll meet you right back here again. I'm gonna speed it up so you don't have to watch. Okay, so our chicken is done, and it doesn't take long at all, really, with the chicken cut into small pieces like that. So we want to get this out of the pot. Now, this is not the same bowl. Do not cross-contaminate, please. I know I probably shouldn't have to say that, but I'm just conscious about it myself. This is a brand new clean bowl. Don't put cooked chicken into the uncooked chicken bowl. So I'm going to get this out of here. You want to leave all that moisture and all that fat behind. Don't drain that off. There, I mean, that moisture is where all the flavor for this chowder is coming from, and we paid good money for that. So leave it in the pot. We just want to take the chicken out for now because we don't want to overcook it. Now, this can also be done with, this is chicken thighs. You can do it with chicken breast or a mixture of the two, or even leftover rotisserie chicken. You know, the book is Ketogenic Diet on a Budget. Instead of going to the fresh hot rotisserie chickens, go to the deli section where yesterday's chickens are in the cooler case, and they're about half price or less. And you can get a deal there, bust it up, and get about 2 pounds of chicken out of it, and use that instead. All right, now in our fat and chicken juices that we have left over, we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of butter. Add it to all that, and you don't have to write all this down. I'm going to give you a link down below to go to my website, highfalutinlowcarb.com, and you'll see the corn chowder recipe right there, baby corn chowder recipe. So let's get our fat rendered out, our butter rendered out, and now we're going to go with our aromatics and our vegetables. And this is a medium white onion. White onions have lower carbs than, like, say, a Vidalia or a Texas Sweet or any like that. So try to use a white onion if you can. Now, I'm still using the same wooden spoon from that I touched my raw chicken, but we're going to swap out in a minute. But for now, the temp's hot enough to not cause any problems. We're also going to add 1 diced red bell pepper. Gives it some nice color and texture and flavor. Makes it crunchy. And we're also going to add in a cup of cauliflower, raw cauliflower florets that are roughly the size of, if you diced a potato, right? A potato in your chowder, in your corn chowder, that's going to mimic that, right? So do that, and then lastly, a little bit of garlic. This is 3 cloves of garlic, and normally I would say don't put this in because it's going to burn, but there's so much liquid in here now that it's not going to burn, and there's so much else going on that's letting off liquid that I think we're safe from that. So let's cook this for about 8 minutes until the onions turn translucent, and then we'll go from there. I'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are back. This has been about 6 or 8 minutes. It doesn't take long. There's still a lot of liquid left in the pan, but our onions are translucent. Our vegetables are just kind of crisp, tender. And so here's where we're gonna start with our other items. This is the chicken we had, and all of its reserved juices go back in the pot, okay? And I'm gonna put this bowl and this spoon that I used with all the raw chicken. It goes away. And I have a clean spoon, so I'm not cross-contaminating. It only takes food poisoning once. to make you gun shy. Now, we're going to add in some salt and pepper to this. And the reason, now normally when I'm cooking that chicken, I would normally have seasoned it with salt and pepper. But this recipe is easy to get too salty based on your saltiness of your bacon and the saltiness of your chicken broth. Both of those are going to come into account. And also, we cooked that chicken in the bacon fat, which is salty, right? So now here's the corn. You're like, Wesley, how are we going to make corn chowder? Corn is not low carb friendly. Well, no, it's not, but baby corn is. It is literally just canned baby infant corn that hasn't had its starches turned into sugars yet. So it's very high in fiber, and you've got like 4 net carbs per can. So this is 2 cans of baby corn I'm going to put in here, and it gives you corn flavor and that distinctive little kernel bite that I miss about corn. I need to cut this one up. Hold on. We paid for him too. We're going to get him in the pot. So in these go. We just want the corn in there, and we're going to pour in our chicken stock. And this is 6 cups of chicken stock. If you buy the big barrel of, this is low sodium chicken stock too. Please do not use full sodium. So in this goes. And now what we're going to do is turn the heat up to high. And right when it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down to low, and then we're going to cover it with a lid and let it cook for about 30-35 minutes on low covered, and just let it do its thing and soften and tender and become our delicious corn chowder. Now you're like, well, this doesn't look like chowder, this is like soup. Chowder is creamy. Yep, we're not adding the cream and the other things. We got a few other ingredients to add at the end. If you add the cream now, you have a tendency for it to separate. And I don't want the cream to separate while we're cooking it for the 30 minutes. So I'm going to turn this up to high. You will see me. I'm going to when it comes to a boil, cover it, and I will see you back here in 30 minutes, or in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're back. It's been about 30 minutes, and our soup is, I've taken it off heat, and by off heat, I've turned this is an induction cooktop, so just simply turning it off takes it off of heat. And I'll be honest with you and tell you that I had probably a little bit too much bacon fat. It depends on how fatty your bacon is. If it's too fatty, you may just want to use a spoon while it's simmering and take up a little bit of the fat around the top. Totally dependent on you. If you're eating keto and high fat, low carb, then that's not going to bother you at all. But for me, palatability is most important. So I took a little bit of the fat off the top. Long story short, now off heat is where we're going to add our cream, and this becomes a chowder. So this is 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. And we're just going to pour this right in and stir while we do it. And then what really thickens it up and really makes this super delicious is 8 ounces a pack of cream cheese. And this has been, when I started prepping the vegetables and getting ready, I put this and cubed it out and left it on the counter so that it's room temperature. You don't want this to be right out of the refrigerator. You're going to cool your soup down too much. But so this goes in. Oops, I splashed and made a mess. This goes in, and now we're just going to gently stir this. Hold on. Get out of the way. We're going to gently stir this and incorporate all this cream cheese into the soup. And I'm going to do that now, and then we're going to come back and we're going to taste it, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and we're going to talk about the macros and all that other jazz. So again, don't worry about writing any of this down. I'll send you a link to the printable recipe. It'll be down below. So I'll meet you back here in just a second. All right, guys, so we're back. Now, when you add your cream cheese, take, 3, 4, 5 minutes and continually stir this so that the cream cheese melts, and then when you see no more solid cream cheese, you're ready to go. Now, I'm going to tell you now that, like all stews and soups and chowders, this thing is twice as good the next day after it's sat in the refrigerator and just thinks about itself for a little while. You know what I mean? How soups do. It's good. It'll be good fresh, but it is way better the next day. So, all right, let's look at this. Look how beautiful and creamy. There's corn in there. Let's talk about macros. All right. So this makes 6 to 8 servings. You could definitely get 8 out of this. This is a large pot, and I normally cook this in a stock pot, much larger pot than this. This is my Dutch oven. I wanted this shallower pot so you could see it while I was cooking with it. But anyway, I would think that this serves 6 quite well. You could honestly, like hungry people could do 4, but 6 servings. If you make 6 servings, one serving made exactly by the recipe is 846 calories. You've got 64 grams of fat. You have got 45 grams of protein. You've got 24 grams of total carbs, 4 grams of fiber for a total of 20 grams of net carbs. And I know you're going to say, Wesley, that's way too much, 20 grams of net carbs. Well, remember, this is highfalutin low carb, not highfalutin keto. And a lot of people who eat low carb, you know, anywhere from 30 to 50, even up to 100 can be a low carb day for somebody. But if you are strict keto and want to make this recipe and you're trying to stay, you know, below 20 grams of net carbs per day, there's 1 or 2 easy changes to make. Cut the onion in half. Instead of using a full onion, use half an onion. Same with the bell pepper, use half of the bell pepper, and use 1 can of the corn instead of 2 cans of the corn, and you will cut this in half, and it'll be 10 grams of net carbs per serving if you make 6. So if you want to do that, that's fine. It won't be as bulky of a stew or a soup, but it'll get the same flavors and the same textures, and it'll be half the carbs. So let's serve this up and get all the good, what does it taste like? I know you're wondering about that. Oh, y'all, I love it. And then, remember when we reserved our bacon? This is our crispy bacon that's going to go on top, and that gives you some fresh, crunchy stuff to delve into. And then a little bit of a scallion, a green onion. Just look at that. I wish you could smell the house, the whole apartment floor. The whole floor of this building smells like this soup. So, what does it taste like? My throat is sore. I've almost not made it through talking so much, but this is hot as fire. But you know, I learned to burn my face off on stuff like this. So, look at that crunchy stuff. That corn. Okay, I gotta blow on it. Y'all, it is so good. Okay, I know it's my recipe, and you shouldn't be braggadocious, but that is so flavorful, so much texture. It hits the spot on a kind of a fall evening, and especially when you got a little... I just love it. I love it. And I hope you guys do too. I'm going to leave a link down below, highfalutinlowcarb.com. You can get the written recipe. Don't worry about writing all of it down. Just go over there to the website. So guys, there you go. Low carb chicken corn chowder. Can it be done? Yeah, it took a little bit of ingenuity with some baby corn and some other ingredients, but we got there. And I say this every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. And looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. And I really needed some honesty over the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey and are keeping me strong as well. Be sure to hit the like button down below. It's been a few weeks since I've uploaded a video, and the YouTube algorithm is going to punish me for that. But if you guys will just hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed, YouTube will know that you know, they are enjoying this, and they'll recommend this video to other people who might like similar content. So that's the biggest thing you can do to help me out. So be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell. Lastly, I need to say thank you to my sponsor of this video, Thrive Market. Thank you so much. Be sure to check them out at thrivemarket.com/highfalutinlowcarb. That you can get 25% off your first order and a free gift. So thank you so much, Thrive Market, for sponsoring this. And then finally, my rock stars, my Patreon members. You're going to see them scroll here on the side. Without them, none of this would be possible. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It allows people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube, and you can give $1 or $2 a month just to sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. So without them, like I said, none of this would be possible. They are my true rock stars. So otherwise, I will see you guys very soon, hopefully with a more affirmative voice that you can actually hear and it's not so hoarse. But I love you guys. I will see you very soon. Let me know what you think about the chowder if you make it. Talk to you soon.